Let's imagine something for a second. You open your investing app, you put in your money, wherever it's coming from, and instead of researching companies, watching hours of videos, or panic scrolling on Reddit, you just log in and ask artificial intelligence what to do with your money. And then you do exactly what it says. Well, that's what I did. For the last 6 months, every single paycheck, I invested $100 and let ChatGPT decide everything. What to buy, what to sell, when to chill, when to take risks. And I filmed the entire thing. Now, this isn't a get-rich-quick video. This is me genuinely testing. Did AI beat the market? Was it worth the effort? And should anyone actually try this? Let's rewind to the very beginning. Let's break down the rules. I kept the rules simple. Every paycheck, I invested $100. That equals 12 total investments because I got paid twice a month. And the most important rule is I do exactly what AI tells me, even when I don't like it. No side Googling, no, but my friend said, no gut feelings. Just ask, listen, and execute. And honestly, at first, it did kind of feel really exciting. Like I'd hired my own digital portfolio manager. Now, let me show you how it played out month by month. Let's take it back to June of 2025. Hey, this is day one with investing using ChatGPT. I'm going to be using this AI to basically tell me what to do for the next 6 months, utilizing $100. So, don't really know what it's going to give me. I'm going to give it a brand new prompt, see what happens. This is the prompt I'm using. So, where should I invest $100 today to maximize growth potential? I'm using Wealthsimple. I'm using Canadian dollars, no cryptos, open to global markets. It doesn't have to be ETFs. Whatever you think will do great in the next 6 months based on what's on the internet. Concerns with this, of course, is that I'm pretty ignorant to most of the stock market, I'll be honest. I invest very simply. I pick a few ETFs and I roll with those, and it's been doing really well with me. So we'll see what it gives me, and we'll speed through actually buying those investments. You should be able to see somewhere on your screen my portfolio. This is what it's telling me to do. So I'm going to go ahead and do these real quick. And there you go. $100 worth of stocks purchased based off of recommendations from ChatGPT. We'll see what happens in 6 months. Fun fact is that entire video I actually filmed while I was traveling in Germany with my wife. So that epic library shelf that looks like it belongs to a millionaire, yeah, that wasn't mine. So when ChatGPT answered, it was calm, it was rational, and almost like therapist-ish. It explained like the diversification, the long-term thinking, the risk. And I remember thinking, okay, this actually kind of feels responsible. This might work. So the funny thing, before the second pay in June, is that I filmed the entire thing in slow motion by accident. I think I was like testing some features on my camera and I completely forgot to change the settings back. So we'll kind of skip this part, but it was pretty straightforward, as you could see by the prompt that I gave it. Anyway, June felt smooth, no real drama besides like the whole slow motion thing. This was the kind of month that makes you think investing is easy. And then July rolled in. I have personally never experienced anything like what happened in July. It's very new to me. And honestly, it was a pretty good learning. Okay, so today is July 17th, payday number 3 of 6 months of using AI to invest for me. Okay, so it turns out that one of the investments that ChatGPT asked me to do actually got delisted and I got the money back. So normally it's $100 every paycheck, but for some reason this one is 162. So I looked into it. It was some ticker number, I forget, but I got $62 back. So we're investing $62. So the prompt will be
maybe just a little bit different. But so we'll go ahead and add in the prompt. And also, even if I just account for the 200 bucks that I've invested so far, I'm down $1.24. So nothing dramatic yet. Okay, so anyway, there's the prompt. Let's enter it in. Let's see what it's got for me. All right, cool. So let's go ahead.
That was the first moment that I realized, right, the market doesn't care about my experiment. I also questioned it in my head, like, how dare you recommend something that was gonna get delisted? Like, you can't predict the future, AI? Regardless, it calmly suggested where to reallocate that extra like refunded money while still sticking to like the original game plan.
Cool, that's it for now. See you in a couple weeks.
I would say like weirdly, it kind of made me trust it a little bit more. Not because it made me money, but because it stayed level-headed when something unexpected happened, which like 2% of professionals actually do. I don't doom scroll as much as I used to, but this particular day I was scrolling, and I guess my algorithm heard me and shared this quick video about where the next big thing is coming from. And I decided to tell that to chat, and this is what happened.
I haven't really looked at it, but it looks like I'm up, which is great. So I'm gonna kind of just keep ignoring it and literally just keep planning off of AI. So this is the ask today. Same prompt as usual. The only change this time is that I added TSX, the Toronto Stock Exchange, mainly because it's too complicated to do the whole US conversion and all that fun stuff. So if it's not on the TSX, then I don't know, too bad, I guess. It's just too complicated for me. Also, I saw like this random video of this guy yelling at me and telling me that everyone should be investing in like Africa. So I'll ask the AI to take that into consideration. And there you go. Let's see what it gives me. I got 100 bucks, $100.03 to be exact. Cool. All right, let's skip to the part where I don't really care about all the other stuff. And this is the stuff that it's suggesting. Cool. There you go. 4 options. And let's go ahead and start trading.
I expected it to like hype it up like a TikTok bro, yelling about the next big thing. Instead, it broke everything down again calmly. Growth potential was there, the infrastructure was there were challenges, political risk, and all of that. The good and the bad, basically. A lot of the stuff, honestly, I'm very ignorant to.
400 bucks total invested into the market based off of what AI is telling me to do. And I'll see you next paycheck.
And for the first time, I thought, okay, this is genuinely helpful. It's like someone summarized all of the research for me, so I don't have to. It like went through and dug through 20 different articles. It was still kind of risky though, right? But I wanted to continue and see where the story would go going forward. The first pay in August was interesting because I kind of felt like I was being watched.
So this is the 5th day of investing over the last couple of months. It's like mid-August, closer to end of August. I'm looking at my investments right now. Strange and oddly enough, it says that I'm up overall, like 16 bucks, but I've put in $500, which means it should be higher than 500. But if you're wondering why, it's because one of the investments that ChatGPT asked me to purchase was delisted. So I guess I lost money, but I'm still gaining. I don't know. If you understand it, write it in the comments and let me know. So yeah, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT for today's investments, preferably on the TSX, because it's easier for me to trade in Canadian dollars. So where am I gonna put 100 bucks to maximize growth potential? So let's see what it says for today. Cool. So these are the companies that it's asking me to purchase. And the reason I'm laughing is because one of these companies is a company that I used to work for, but I'm gonna buy it. Let's see what it says. So let's speed run through this. That's it. And I'll see you at my next paycheck.
So that one felt weird. It clearly doesn't know my work history, but seeing like a familiar ticker pop up, it was almost felt like a little personal. Like chat was peeking into my past job decisions. I mean, the portfolio was up. It felt pretty good. This experiment suddenly felt kind of fun.
Hey, welcome from the past. End of August, my second pay of this month, and we have another $100. It's actually $102. Shout out interest from Wealthsimple. We're going to keep the same prompt that we did the last time. This time just to ask them to be a little bit more specific. So where should I invest $100 to maximize growth potential? Yeah, anyway, give me specifics and let's see what it says. And yeah, I got that extra 2 cents. So I'm going to be a millionaire way sooner. Imagine showing this to someone 50 years ago. They didn't have to like pick up a newspaper and read all of this. It's all just readily available at my fingertips. Again, not trying to be an expert. I'm not trying to time the market or anything like that. I'm just literally basing it off of this because I thought it was a funny video. So I'm risking a few $100 for you guys. So subscribe, please. All right, cool. So specifically, I'm not going to read all of this, but some of this stuff I've already purchased in the past. I guess we'll see you in September.
So just another buy, nothing too crazy, more relaxed. So August ended up feeling kind of relaxed, which can be dangerous. When something feels too easy, it usually means reality is about to teach you something, right? Something to note and something to consider is that a day trader would be doing something like this daily, hourly. I only did this when I got paid. So like semi-passive, semi-day trader. September, which is also the month of my birth, was honestly pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie, because you'll see.
Hey, mid-September, a little under the weather today, but money doesn't get sick. Basically what I'm gonna do, I have that extra 100 with 13 cents of interest, by the way. Shout out Wealthsimple. Instead of asking it for its opinions on a bunch of different stocks again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it this prompt here. Just to summarize, basically what I'm telling it is based off of the last 3 months of suggestions, go through them, pick 5 of them to sell, use that money and reinvest in 5 of them that it has confidence that it will do well long term. So I gave it basically all the shares that I have, how many I have of each ticker, and the percentages of all of them so far. So we'll go ahead and give it that prompt and see what it says. So these are the 5 that it's asking me to sell. So we'll speed through that. I'm going to do that now. Okay, the 5 that I've sold. There you go. But these are the 5 that it's asking me to reinvest in. Overall, halfway through, it's looking pretty good. Up total about 10% in just 3 months. Kind of crazy. But anyway, yeah, that's it for mid-September. See you guys in a couple weeks.
This was peak. For a split second, I had thought, am I actually onto something here? Should I even post this and reveal my millionaire secrets? Everything was green. I'm not gonna lie, it felt kind of great. It was at this point where I thought, should I just keep doing this long term? But then came a bit of a plot twist. Chat told me to do something I was not expecting at the end of September. This is something I would have never done on my own.
As you can see, this time I have $125 because one of you beautiful people actually clicked on an affiliate link with Wealthsimple and started investing for the first time with using Wealthsimple. So not only did I get $25, but they got $25 too. So if you're interested in starting your investing journey, click the link in the description. What I did the last time was I kind of consolidated how many things I've invested in so far with AI. So I'm going to use the same prompt that I did the last time. In summary, basically, I wanted to pick 5 stocks that it thinks will have long-term growth and stability, and pick 5 that maybe it's not as confident in to sell. So I have $125 plus whatever I'm going to make from selling these additional stocks. Okay, interesting. One of my biggest gainers is AEM at 44%, and it's telling me to sell it because it's not confident and it's not reliable for long-term growth. All right, cool. I'm not going to question it, even though I probably should. I'm going to do what it says. So based off of what I've sold plus everything. I'm going to reprompt it because now I have $300 to invest. All right, so, and yes, I'm saying please to the AI. I guess I'll see you guys in the next couple weeks.
That moment when it told me to sell actually kind of shocked me. Everything in my brain like screamed like, why on earth would I sell the one stock doing the absolute best? Chat didn't actually feel intuitive at that point. It didn't feel rewarding, but I'd made myself a promise at the beginning of the challenge, of course, you know. And the most important rule is I do exactly what AI tells me, even when I don't like it. Treat AI like an actual portfolio manager. And portfolio managers don't ask how you feel, at least not every single day. They follow their framework. So yeah, I sold AEM, and when I pressed that sell button, it hurt way more than I expected. And what sucks more, and I don't recommend doing this, is that I went back to look at AEM today. I went to go look at it today, and it's up even more since the day that I sold it. Hindsight, am I right? A part of me was like, this thing is stupid. I kind of just want to get this experiment over with. And then, yeah, then October kicked in.
Hi, today is mid-October, October 17th, and I have another $100 to invest with 2 cents of interest. Shout out Wealthsimple for the interest. The last time I did another one of those selling rounds and I liked it, and it's doing pretty well, so I'm going to do it again. But this time the prompt is going to be a little different. Essentially what I'm asking it is telling it to, instead of saying pick 5 to sell, I'm just gonna be like, you know what, pick the ones that you're confident, if there's any, that you would sell. And the rest of the prompt is the same as the last time, but for the most part, actually no, the ending of this is if you think you should get something off of this list that I should buy instead, based off of like recent hype, then I'll go with that instead. And then I added in what I currently have, how many shares, and the percentage increases or decreases. So I shall do this prompt. Not interested in all this stuff. If you're interested in it, feel free to pause the video and read it, but I'm not. Sorry. I'm gonna remain ignorant. Cool. All right, let's do that. Oh man, this one does. It's always a shame selling the ones that are doing well, but I am but a puppet to ChatGPT for this. There you go. All right, it looks like it's asking me or telling me to reinvest in what I already have. Easy peasy. So I think I only have 3 more investments I'm going to do in this. I haven't fully decided if I'm going to keep doing this, but I mean, it's doing pretty well so far. I guess we'll find out at the end of this video.
Suddenly the strategy became more conservative. It almost felt like AI went, okay, we've had our fun. Let's chill before like this guy panics. And again, obviously it follows off of my prompts and what I'm, asking it to do for me, but it's doing a lot of the research. The boring part of the investing that October brought became kind of safe because that's what I'm used to. That's what I'm accustomed to, is safe, boring investing.
All right, welcome back. I got another $100. I think this is the second last month, so 2 more pays after this will be going towards this ridiculous video idea. But overall seems to be doing pretty good. So we're gonna keep going. This time I asked ChatGPT to give me a prompt to give itself, and we'll base today's investing off of that. In summary, basically what I'm asking it is, this is the current performance where I'm at. Obviously focused on TSX because USD is not the best for Canadians. And then like just asking a general advice, like what should I sell, what should I buy? If I should sell, if I shouldn't buy. It's giving me a lot though. So again, a lot of this is kind of noise to me, but that's the point of today. That's the point of this video, is to learn a little bit, hopefully. I'm too heavy in certain sectors like US tech. I wonder why. It's funny, maybe the AI is telling me to stop investing in itself. All right, easy peasy. 3 predominantly Canadian companies. All right, so let's do it. And then lastly, Shopify. If you've ever watched a Mr. Beast video, chances are you've seen Shopify. There you go. Yeah, going into the next month, feeling pretty confident. It's been 5 months of doing this now. As you can see, it's doing pretty good. 10% over the last 5 months. I feel like that's overall just the general market. Anyway, continuing on. See you next month.
Something did hit me at the end of October though, and it's what was happening in the background. And this is, I don't know why I never compared it earlier, but my boring ETF strategy, you know, like the one that I always talk about, assuming you've subscribed and been here for a while, but the one where I automate my automations and I just ignored entirely. That portfolio was outperforming ChatGPT like significantly. This was something that I couldn't really ignore, and it kind of really reinforced that maybe I'm onto something already. Maybe you don't need that full day trader energy.
Hello, this is 2025 November KG speaking. We're coming up to the end of these 6 months of investing. After looking at what I'm seeing right now, overall is still like I said, it looks pretty. I just refreshed and it dropped drastically. Today is the second last payment that I'm going to be doing. I'll do one more at the end of November, and this is today's prompt. I'm basically wrapping things up. I wanted to analyze what I've done like a professional. Basically, I'm just asking you to review what I've purchased so far. Tell me what was the winner, what's the loser, and based off of the market conditions right now, which is mid-November, and my risk level, which is moderately aggressive because I still think I'm young. What's the smartest way to invest my next $100? And then I listed out all of the things that I have purchased right here currently and where they're standing. So let's go ahead and see what it says. The biggest winner is C. This thing absolutely cooked everything else. In fact, if your whole portfolio performed like C, you'd already be on the beach somewhere explaining fire to confused retirees. That would have been dope. But unfortunately, not everything is going to be a big winner. Biggest loser, okay, cool, obviously. At one point, I do remember that stock being pretty good, though. I do remember it being pretty high, and then it dropped. Again, don't know why. It's tech heavy, what I have right now. Obviously, because of all the AI stuff, I'm guessing throughout the last 6 months, it's been basically telling me to buy a bunch of things that are involved or around AI. Put the full $100 in NVDA. I'm basically asking it if it's a good idea to put the full 100 in NVIDIA because, I don't know, put all your eggs in one basket kind of thing. Again, not a professional. Let's see. Okay, well, here's the split. That I can do, no problem. This time I have $100.02 because of interest. Shout out Wealthsimple for the interest. Let's go ahead and start buying some stuffs. Yeah, next pay is going to be the last time I do this. I don't know how I'm going to wrap this up. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, we'll see you soon.
And this was the part that was actually kind of cool, because instead of just telling me what to buy like usual, Chat acted almost like a brutally honest coach, if that makes sense. Again, based off of my prompt, obviously, but it walked through my portfolio piece by piece, who was up big, who was dragging the team down, which stocks made sense, and which ones kind of felt emotionally not worth it. And yeah, this is where I actually saw it on paper again. There's one that's SEAC was absolutely flying. AEM at one point had been a massive winner for me. And some others were like, they didn't age too well, let's just say that. It was one of the few times during this experiment where I actually paused and thought, okay, I'm not just following instructions here. I'm actually learning how some of this stuff behaves. And that might be one of the bigger takeaways of this. And AI's conclusion for this session was simple. Reposition a little bit, tighten things up, and stay disciplined. So no drama, no panic, just here's what makes sense based on the data. And it was at that moment where I kind of realized, you know what, let's go ahead and close off this experiment the right way.
Welcome back. So today December 8th is going to be the last time I invest using AI over these last 6 months. Something to note before I do the last investment here is that over the last 6 months, same 6 months from June 10th till December 8th, 2025, I did this obviously, so $100 every single paycheck, but I also still invested in my regular TFSA, boring automations into a few ETFs. I outperformed this AI zero thinking. Something to note on that is that obviously I'm not day trading. I'm not doing it every single day. I'm literally doing it only when I get paid. Also, it's a very short amount of time. So 6 months, again, not a good gauge for investments overall, but that's why I decided to do this final prompt here. So this is the final prompt that I'm gonna be giving AI for my last $100, and I'll read it out. So, you're the best day trader ever. Over the last 6 months, you've helped me invest in 25 different stocks, investing $1,100 with a little extra thanks to Wealthsimple's interest. Shout out Wealthsimple. In those 6 months, you've gained me $46, which is a 3.85% increase. Now that I'm wrapping up this video, and this is the last $100 that I'm investing, here's what I would like you to do. I want you to think deeply, do all the research you need to do, and narrow down my remaining 12 stocks, which I'm showing you guys right here. These are the last 12 that I've got on hand. Narrow it down to 3 that you are extremely confident will do well in 1 year's time. I want you to predict the future, basically. I will invest the final $100 in these stocks, and then I'll sell off the rest and put them in my personal TFSA because I outperformed it by so much. That being said, again, selling off everything else, putting in my TFSA, the last 100 will go into those remaining 3 stocks. I'm gonna click this thing and do the deep research and let it think. It might take a while.
AI was doing its big dramatic, let me think about your financial future routine. I had time to sit there and kind of realize and process the last 6 months. And honestly, it felt strange. For half a year, I didn't decide anything. I just handed the thinking over to a machine and followed orders. Part of this was comforting. I didn't have to obsess, stress, or pretend I read company reports that I absolutely didn't read. But another part of me wondered, if I outsource all the decision making, am I actually learning anything? Or am I just along for the ride? And then there was this comparison I couldn't ignore, which was my boring ETF, the quietly, patiently doing nothing flashy portfolio, beat this strategy by a mile with no drama, no deep thinking, just math and patience. Meanwhile, AI had moments of brilliance and moments of chaos and moments where I genuinely questioned whether it actually knew what long-term meant. I thought about AEM, the stock that was up 44%, and how hard it was to sell it. I thought about the delisting in July, about the excitement in September when everything was green, and about how fun it was to feel involved, even when it didn't always pay off. AI didn't make me rich, but it did something interesting. It made me more intentional. It forced me to ask questions about risk, timing, and trust. Questions I probably wouldn't have explored on autopilot. And while all of that was spinning through my head, ChatGPT finally finishes this massive analysis, and its conclusion was simple. Sell almost everything. Hold on to those 3 stocks, I think it was AMD, NVIDIA, and SE, for at least 1 year. And just like that, the experiment had an ending. And then it was time to see how I did. So across 6 months, I had invested $1,200 Canadian. By the end, the portfolio was worth $1,253.68. That's roughly 4.5% up. Not bad. At the time I recorded this video today, which is January 11th, 2026, I am currently here. In comparison, my boring, automated ETF investing strategy, the one where I don't do anything, I don't do any thinking, and I just make sure I automatically invest consistently, the one that basically runs itself, that one ended up at around 16.5% up around the same 6-month period. So no, AI did not beat the market, but here's the interesting part. It also didn't completely suck. It wasn't reckless, but it wasn't magical either. It just behaved like something still learning, maybe like a junior analyst who's good, but he's not great. We also have to consider that in the grand scheme of like lifetime investing, 6 months is very short. It's a very short period of time. So maybe AI never really had a shot to begin with. Here's what I took away from this. AI actually made investing feel kind of fun. It made me curious. And if my goal was to be a day trader, it would have saved me hours of research. But I also realized if you're brand new to investing, you shouldn't rely on it completely. These 3 things are way more important. Start boring, build good habits, understand the basics of investing first. Even me, the guy who picked a few ETFs and invests in them regularly, I still did research and I understand what I'm buying and what my goals are. Once you're confident on those 3 things, then maybe later let AI help you explore or learn and take a few more risks. This shouldn't replace your brain. It shouldn't change how you feel about what you invest in. It should just assist your brain. So what's next? I'm still going to be holding AMD, NVIDIA, and SE exactly like AI suggested for at least 1 year. So we're not entirely done. So subscribe so you can see what happens in November of 2026. We'll check back and see whether AI redeems itself or like whether my boring investing wins again. Either way, this experiment taught me something important. AI is not a shortcut. It's just another tool. And tools still need a human using them wisely. If you enjoyed this video and want to understand investing for beginners, check out this video or this one. I forget which one. It's one of these 2. If you're in Canada and want to check out the investing app that I used for this entire experiment, then the link is down in the description. And that's it. Let me know if you enjoyed this type of video. It was fun to make. I made a little bit of money off of it, so that's kind of cool. But I really appreciate you sticking around to the end of this video. It means the world to me. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video. Let the algorithm know you want more of this stuff. And I will see you guys next week. Peace.